Greetings, viewers. We have a really nice pen from PenBBS here today. This is the model 352. It's a fairly conventionally sized pen. Here it is compared to a Lamy Safari and a Pilot Metropolitan. As you can see, it's fairly much in line size-wise with these pens. Not a particularly heavy pen, though. Most of the acrylic weighs in at 20 grams. This particular finish, which is really, really gorgeous in my mind, is called the Frost Fire finish. So if you want to pick up this pen from PenBBS, very often it's identified as the 352 and the finish is the 06 version, but they call it Frost Fire is the name. And it's a pretty good name. I would say you got some really, really nice chatoyancy, shimmer, deep blues. Really, really a pretty acrylic. They did a really nice job with this. It is a screw to uncap pen. It takes 2.5 turns to unscrew. It does post and post well. Fairly light pen, so no back weighting issues when posted. It is long enough to use unposted, but as you probably know from watching my videos, I do like to post my pens whenever it is possible. Around the cap band, it says PenBBS, Shanghai, and then 352, and it has what has become very common in a lot of these PenBBS pens, this sword style clip, which is very, very functional, as well as being pretty sharp looking. You have sort of the pseudo fake piston turning knob / fake blind cap on the end with this little trim ring, and sort of a complementary cap ring around the flat top and flat bottoms. It is, as you can imagine, a cartridge converter filled pen, and the converter is included. I would not eyedropper this pen due to the way this is constructed here. You're probably just asking for trouble if you did that. The section matches the pen, which is really, really nice and always kind of welcome. It does have the fairly conventional PenBBS nib. It says PenBBS since 2005. A big F for fine, some scroll work, and it says China. And then it has the normal PenBBS feed, which we've come to know. Again, these fins on this feed are extremely delicate. Be extremely careful if you're going to yank the nib and feed. It can be done and without too much difficulty, but really just be careful because of the delicate nature. These fins are very thin and they can break. That is about it for the features of this pen. Again, very pretty material, looks great. Let's see how well it writes. For the ink for this pen, I've chosen Organic Studios Henry David Thoreau Walden ink. This is they call it Walden Pond Blue. This is from their Master of Writing series by Organic Studio. So we're going to ink this up and see how it writes. Okay, folks, what we're writing with here is a PenBBS model 352, and this is a fine steel nib. This is the PenBBS 352. This is what is called the Frost Fire finish. This is quite smooth. Very smooth, in fact. And is writing pretty nicely. I have many, if you've seen from watching this channel, I've done quite a few reviews of this exact nib in a few pens, and the writing experience is almost always universally quite good. They're very consistent with these nibs from PenBBS. I'd say this is about average wetness, not too wet, not too dry, etc. So it's writing pretty well. So this is, again, very smart looking pen, writes well. Just another really great offering from PenBBS. They did a quite a nice job with this pen, and I'm a really big fan of this material. I just think this looks super nice. So I think that might just about cover what we want to say about this pen itself. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at this ink now, shall we? Okay, folks, this ink is Organic Studio. Walden, Pond Blue. And like many inks, not all, but many inks from Organic Studio, it is fairly famous for having really nice sheen. And this ink does not disappoint. It's a greenish blue, maybe like you might see on a pond. So it's not a deep blue like the pen is, for example, or something like Bay State blue, etc. So the base ink is more of a aqua greenish, almost teal blue, but then you have the sheen that lays over it. So it does sheen quite nicely on this Rhodia paper, but sometimes to really pick up the sheen in a very pronounced way, you definitely need to kick it up a notch with something like Tomoe River paper. So let's give that a shot and see how that looks. Okay, what we have here, like we said, is Organic Studio. Walden Pond Blue, and this is on Tomoe River paper. And this is with a fine nib. For a lot of these inks with special effects, sometimes you really need a broader nib to really catch the special effects. Not so much the case here, because the sheen is actually quite apparent in any case, whether it's regardless of the width of the nib, but wider would be better just to get more of the special effect going. So that is that. So you're not really getting bleed through even on the Tomoe River paper with such a deeply saturated ink like this, which is really nice. And again, you really can pick up the sheen here quite impressively. Like I said, so the base color of the ink is like this bluish green, but the sheen, there's such a large amount of sheen that the base color of the ink becomes almost not even the main thing you're seeing here. So the base color of the ink becomes not that significant. So like I said, this is named Walden Pond Blue. It's associated with Henry David Thoreau as part of their master writing series. They have a Hemingway, they have a Thoreau, they have a bunch of others. There you go. Great ink from Organic Studio. Comes in these standard 55 milliliter plastic bottles, which is pretty much what Organic Studio does with all their inks. And again, very nice ink. A lot of nice sheen. So if you want like an ink with a lot of sheen, which is not always appropriate, right? So keep that in mind. Sometimes in a business setting, if you're signing a big contract or something, maybe sheening ink is not exactly what you want. But they do look quite nice. And like I said, the sheen does get picked up quite a bit and quite nicely here. So there you go. So I think that will just about do it for this video. As always, I thank you so much for watching. And please subscribe if you have not done so already. If you do subscribe, please click that little bell icon so you'll be reminded when I post my next video. Please give me some thumbs up. Please keep those comments coming. And as always, have a great day. Bye-bye.